And welcome to this week's masterclass in the Marketing and Sales Mastermind. Are you ready to scale your business with a team of people who can help you bring in more sales? In today's live CEO Freedom Masterclass, we will show you hiring and onboarding a sales team to scale to 7 figures. And I'm so excited for you, especially if you are ready for this step, because it really is one of those breakthroughs that takes you to the next level. Now, if you're watching this live stream anywhere other than our Facebook group, you can join us at ceofreedom.com/Facebook to get this weekly live training, daily strategy tips, and access to free resources, as well as connections with our community. And you can also watch the replays of all of our previous masterclasses. My name is Shannon Lavenia, and my co-host and husband, John Lavenia, is here with me.
Here I am. And, if you're new here, we are the creators behind the CEO Freedom programs and the paid framework, providing coaches, consultants, and agency owners with automation and growth strategies to sell out your programs and magnify your impact. So what we want to cover here with you today are some things that we've discovered to scale our own businesses through hiring and onboarding a sales team, as Shannon said, to scale to 7 figures. So there's really 3 things that you need to focus on if you're going to engage with expanding through bringing on sales staff and that sort of thing. And the first one is obviously knowing if you're ready for sales help. Now, sales is an interesting thing. A lot of times people who are good at other aspects of business tend to avoid that. But if you've been a solopreneur up to this point, and now you're thinking about scaling, well, then you've gotten over that hurdle already. So the question is, are you ready for sales help? Are you ready to have other people do some of that heavy lifting? Because, well, you've maxed out what you can do on your own, right? You can only play a certain amount of game until that's it. You need to bring in other people to play a bigger game. If you're in that position, you'll know it because you find yourself wearing a lot of different hats. And of course, the sales hat is super important, right? Nothing happens until somebody buys something. But through your own effort of selling your whatever your offers are, you've proven your offer. And this is an important thing. So one of the ways that you know that you're ready for sales help is not only can you not work any more hours, but also you've proven your offer. So it has what we call proof of concept. You also have marketing that consistently brings in quality leads, right? So you've kind of hit the ceiling in terms of like hours and labor or whatever of what you can do on your own. And you've got more leads coming in than you can properly service. That's a great indicator that you're ready to expand and play a bigger game. So then the big question is, how do we set that up for onboarding and all that kind of stuff? Shannon, anything else to say about, knowing that you're ready to engage in this, increased personnel?
I think that it is a very exciting time in any business when you're at that point where you are ready to scale and you're ready to onboard sales help and marketing team in order to do that. It also can be extremely overwhelming because you yourself are completely maxed out. You probably have too many leads. And another indicator is that you're on an income roller coaster. So you bring money in and then your financial stats crash, and then you bring money in and your financial stats crash. And that happens because you're the one person wearing the multiple hats, like John said, and you're going from being the salesperson to the delivery person, to the marketing person, to the salesperson, to the delivery person, right? So this actually will give you so much relief and put you back into your zone of genius, the creator of your offer, the person who delivers this amazing value to your clientele, and it enables you to scale very predictably. What John said about having marketing that is already proven, already bringing in leads is so important because all you have to do once you have that dialed in is put your foot on the gas. Right? At that point, it's literally just about putting more money into the marketing budget and letting your sales team convert those leads into cash in your business. Now, in order to do that, in order to bring your team on, you really do have to have your tech dialed in. So just like you have your offer dialed in and your marketing dialed in, you have to have your tech dialed in. Now, the system that we recommend 100% is Brand Builder AI. And we recommend this for a couple of reasons. One, it's one system. And we've personally consulted and coached with 7-figure coaches and consultants who had so many different systems that it created a bottleneck in their onboarding and utilization of sales help, because all of those salespeople, all of those marketing teams that you bring on board also have to get hatted and trained in every single system that they're going to be touching. So if you think about that, if you're using 4 or 5 systems, it creates a huge bottleneck in trying to figure out with your new people, them learning the systems, then learning how all those systems are connected, them learning what parts of the system they should be utilizing, versus Brand Builder AI, which is an all-in-one system. Now, with this system, you're able to successfully have a sales team working with you because the calendars are integrated. You can have as many calendars as you want. You can add as many staff members as you want. It records all the outbound calls. You're able to assign calls to different sales team members. You're able to track their productivity, like how many calls they're making in a day and what the monetization of those calls are. It also creates your sales pipelines, and all the automation is there for you. So to give you an example, our sales team, when they go into Brand Builder AI, they pull up their list of calls for the day, they click start, and it'll immediately bring up the contact for each one of those. And on that contact, there's a very simple form where they're able to report what the actual outcome of that call was. And when they do that in a very simple drop down, it then fires off a whole bunch of automation, saving a ton of time, energy, and just even sanity, right? Effort and frustration of not having to do 8 things or 10 things in order to accomplish something very simple. Like, now the person left a message, let's fire off an automated email, let's rebook another call, let's send them a calendar link. Like, there's all these things that are already built in. So you want to have a system that is very simple. And that's why we recommend Brand Builder AI. It's actually what we developed for our own business, our own sales teams, so that we were able to effectively scale. Now, the next thing is, like, once you have your tech dialed in, your offer dialed in, your marketing dialed in, how do you actually bring these team members on? How do you bring them into your business, and how do you keep them accountable? And I'm going to turn this over to you, John. And for those of you who don't know, John has actually worked with many different sales teams in many different 7-figure and 8-figure businesses. He himself has been a force generating over $100 million in online sales. So when he talks to you about inspiring a sales team and keeping them accountable, you want to listen to every single word he has to say.
All right, here comes some words. So what Shanna was just talking about with technology, one of the advantages that I've had in running sales teams is that I'm also in the trenches, and I'm not just in theory saying, well, this is how it should work. I want to know that I can close sales, using this technology, and that I can find the information that I need just like that, right? Because if you've been in sales, customer, what their wants and needs are. Like, that's the most important thing. And you need to know everything you could possibly know instantly about that customer, right? So the technology helps with that. But now we have people who are new to, let's say, the sales team. You just hired somebody, or you just delegated some sales action. There's a few things you got to do to get them onboarded and on track so they can pick up with the best practices that you've already created. All right. So assuming you're competent, now we want them to be competent. The first thing is setting goals, because Confucius say a man who shoots at nothing is sure to hit it. Right. So we got to have targets. So setting targets with people is paramount importance. Find out what they want. Right. I mean, they're looking to join your team and sell your stuff for some financial gratification, I would imagine. Do they have goals? That would be a good thing to do. Now, with goals, we can also set targets. We can kind of match up. All right, well, if that's what you want, Mr. and Mrs. New, sales member, right? Well, here's the kind of targets we got to hit for you to get what you want. So connecting what they want with how to get it is super important. The other thing, and again, technology will help you do this, is reviewing what actually occurs, right? So like with Brand Builder AI, which we could show you all kinds of demos on. In fact, you can go to brandbuilderai.com and get a free demo. but we can see every word that was said, either on the call, inbound, outbound, SMS, Facebook Messenger, Instagram DM, all communication channels, all appended to the contact record. We could see everything they've ever clicked on, everything, right? The entire customer history. So that's good for being able to correct course. So we're not just shooting in the dark, right? We can see what's actually working and what's not. Another thing, back on the idea of setting goals and targets, is not letting a lot of time pass in between successful actions, in between having closed the sale, right? So if somebody is in a slump, there's a few things that you can do to get them out of the slump. One, of course, is review what they're doing that's not working, but then also put their attention back on, and this is a trick, put their attention back on the goals and purposes, which is why they showed up here in the first place, right? People will not go forever without some sort of gratification, okay? And if you think of it like, the top of the mountain, let's say you've got some super competent and very effective, closers. All right. So that's nice. But what about the people that want to get up that mountain? The only gratification cannot just only exist at the top of the mountain. There must be gratification along the way. All right. So yes, delayed gratification, and you can work towards that, but also more immediate gratification. So finding what's right. There's a principle, what's it called? Kiss, kick, kiss. Okay. So what that means is you mentioned something good, and then you show the area of improvement, you kick them a little bit, and then you kiss them again, and you're going to be fine. It's all going to work out, right? So you start with something nice, and it's kind of a sandwich, right? And then you have like the area of improvement in the middle, and you end off on a high note. So that's a great way to manage salespeople. And then, of course, training them, right? So this may be too obvious, but there are scripts, there's processes and best practices, SOPs, standard operating procedures, right? So they're not trying to figure out, what do I click on and all that. So they know what to do. So they don't even need a script anymore. And this is the thing. There's a joke in the sales world. What's the only thing worse than a salesman with a script? And the answer is a salesman with no script, right? So which one's better? Well, I could tell you that when you've got all your technologies in place and your standard operating procedures, and people know what to click on, and they know what's expected, and there's no guesswork, then they can do the most important thing, which you're hiring them to do, which is communicate effectively, convincingly with the customer. That's where the money is made, right? So and just look at yourself, right? If you've made a lot of sales, like I've made lots and lots of sales, okay, I haven't done it by introverting and, oh, am I doing it right? Or, oh, what should I say next? No, none of that stuff. I already know all that stuff. So I'm good. I don't need to look at me. I need to look at you, Mr. and Mrs. Customer. How can I serve you? And when the majority of the attention is extroverted, not introverted, but extroverted, you get huge, huge results, right? You don't even need a script anymore, right? Just communicating with the customer. So one last thing I'll say about this, Shannon, is rewarding production. So this is something where, speaking for myself as a guy who I'm the toughest boss I've ever had, right? So like, all right, you did good. Well, keep doing. I tend to not stop and smell the roses, right? I tend to not reward myself. Well, I've got to remember as a sales manager, as a boss, right? As a CEO, to recognize and acknowledge those things that are done right, because we get more of what we acknowledge. What we validate expands, right? Whether good or bad, right? We can call this law of attraction kind of stuff, but all right, whatever's real to you and whatever you acknowledge and make more real, well, you're going to get more of that, right? So rewarding production, putting in games, incentives, right? People love games. Who doesn't like games? I asked somebody that once, Shannon. I was like, do you like games? And they're like, no. I'm like, come on, Eeyore. I mean, think back to when you were 5 years old. Did you like playing games? Well, yeah, when I was 5. Well, what's the difference now? You wear a tie or something? Let's play some games. People like games, right? So put in some games, and that will also accelerate your production. Just remember, you're not looking to force production. You're looking to remind people of their purpose, reward that production, and then the stats take care of themselves. So these are 3 things that you want to focus on if you're looking to expand and scale your business to 7 figures. Know that you're ready for sales help. You've maxed out what you can do on your own. You've proven your offer. You've got steady marketing and leads coming in. So you've got a machine ready to rock. Now, put it into some technology so you can track all this stuff, manage a sales team, give them the best practices, excuse me, that you've already proven. This is already proven workable, and show them how to access the leads, keep the records, monitor what they're doing and all that. And then the third thing is working with people, because really sales, people buy from people, right? As much as we love AI and all the technology, the stuff doesn't just spring out of the ground spontaneously. Somebody had to originate that stuff, right? So those people need to be trained and rewarded for good work. So Shannon, back to you.
Awesome advice. So here's the thing. If you are at that point where you are ready to really scale up, hit big targets, you're looking to have consistent 25K and up months, 50K plus, 6 figures a month, then book a strategy call with us. Just go to ceofreedom.com/discovery. We'll dig deep into your business, talk about what you need to do to actually hit those breakpoints, and give you a path to do that. And I would love to have that call with you. Now, next week in our live masterclass, I'm like tongue-tied right now. It is how to get your clients to follow through and get exceptional results. I'm excited for you with this one because it really helps you have that incredible feeling of making that impact and watching your clients shine. So we'll see you there. Thanks for being here.